Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios. Today's LEGO Star Wars set review is on a pretty unique one here in the 75407 brick-built Star Wars logo. This set released on May 1st, 2025 for $60, comes with 700 total pieces, but sadly, no minifigs, which to me at least feels a bit disappointing. In terms of our box art, we have that all-black 18+ aesthetic, which really works in my opinion with that yellow Star Wars logo. I do love how on the right side of the box we have the "A Long Time Ago in a Galaxy Far, Far Away" for the introduction of all the Star Wars movies. The left side shows the set's Easter egg, which we'll get into once the actual set is built. And then on the back we have a lifestyle shot of the set's dimensions, and one of those old school posters from A New Hope. Definitely a unique concept for a set, and I'm just really curious to actually unseal this one and build it, and of course obviously review it for you guys. So with the set all unsealed, you'll find two instructions manuals, and in the front of book one, there is a foreword from Jens, who is the creative lead and design director for LEGO Star Wars, so just a nice touch to the details of the first book. And then 6 total numbered bags, pretty standard stuff. I'm going to go now and build the Star Wars logo, and we'll continue the review once it's all complete. And here we have the brick-built Star Wars logo, and as a display piece, I think it looks pretty good, and it's also just a cool concept for a set. Creating the actual shaping of the letters for the font that the Star Wars logo is in could not have been easy. I think from a design perspective, this was probably one of the trickier sets for LEGO to have created, but I think it looks great. Are the letters absolutely perfect in terms of the way they look and the exact scaling and shaping of them? No, but I think that's pretty unrealistic to have expected it to have been 100% perfect, especially at the scale. If the set was a lot bigger, then there's a lot more room to actually create the shaping and make things just look that little bit more accurate, but for the size that the build is in, I definitely think it does a really fantastic job of representing what the Star Wars logo actually looks like. Now, what I definitely think helps make this logo look as good as it does is the fact that all of the lettering is completely tiled off. There are no exposed studs on any of the yellow letters at all, and the way you build the set, you place pieces sideways and in various angles just to help ensure that all of the words are tiled off, and that just makes the lines look that much sharper. If there were some exposed studs anywhere throughout any of the words, it just would not look anywhere near as good as the set does. And what definitely helps that too is the fact that there is some texture in the black pieces that are between the letters. You know, you kind of have some spacing in between Star Wars as well, like there should be. And that texture that's provided in that section just helps to break things up a little bit, not only providing the contrast between the yellow and the black, but just in terms of the actual texturing of it as well, if that makes a lot of sense. And there really with that is one area that looks a little wonky to me in terms of the build, and it's really the only area that I just think could have been done slightly better for the build, and it's up top here in between the T, A, and R of Star. Now you have where there is this black piece here, this 2x1 piece where you just have it exposed studs here, and it's lower than the A and the T. But then between the A and the R, you have here where it's all level. You have an ingot piece, and then you have one of these horizontal to vertical pieces just to help actually, do what's necessary to create the blocking and the shaping here. But these two pieces are actually level with the A and the R. So then you have this kind of weird kind of leveling issue almost, where if they just would have included another ingot piece here on the other side of the A in between the T and the A, then everything would be level. But it's not. And once I kind of realized that that was a thing, I found it a little bit hard to unsee. There is a really cool Easter egg with the build though, and it's in the T. You take off all of the top plates and you have a little almost advent calendar size build for the Star Destroyer and the Tantive, kind of the opening scene of A New Hope. Really cool that that was done just as a small nod to the very first Star Wars movie, a detail that I do think was a nice touch. Now, obviously, as this is intended to be a display piece, when it came to how I would display the Star Wars logo, I was struggling at first, if I'm being honest, because the vast majority of my displayed LEGO Star Wars collection is various ships, vehicles, and I don't think the logo looks great beside everything, if I'm being honest. So what I've done is I've placed it beside the buildable character C-3PO, R2-D2, Grogu with the pram, and I think it looks really great beside those characters, especially C-3PO and R2-D2. It just feels like a classic lineup with the logo beside them. So that's personally how I'm probably going to display that logo, at least for the time being. I think they look really great together, but just the fact that I don't think this does look that great beside absolutely everything is something I wanted to mention, and also just highlight how great I think these all look together. The only other thing that feels missing to me from the set is maybe just a couple of minifigs. The Brickbuilt Marvel logo that was made, I believe, comes with a few different exclusive minifigs in that set, at least at the time of me making this review, so why couldn't we have gotten an exclusive minifig or two to go along with the Star Wars logo? The set's got that little bit of a nod to A New Hope with the Easter egg, so maybe Episode 1 Luke Skywalker, R2-D2 that are just a little bit different with the printing perhaps, just something to make them unique and exclusive to this set. I feel like just would have made it a little bit more special, and that's kind of where I land with the set. So for the Obi-Wan Studios set rating, this one is getting a 9 out of 10. I think for me, a 10 out of 10 would have been that additional, maybe like 2 exclusive minifigs to go along with the set, but otherwise, it's definitely pretty cool. For $60, I feel like it's, fairly priced. It doesn't feel overpriced or a complete steal either, just somewhere in the middle. If you did get it for a sale price of like $50, for example, I feel like you'd feel very good about your purchase, at least in what you've spent your money on. Thank you for watching my review on the 75407 Brickbuilt Star Wars logo. Let me know what you guys think of this one in the comments down below. I feel like this is one where you either think it's, it's okay, it's cool. I don't think it's a set that anyone's gonna hate, but it's gonna be one that you're either maybe a little bit indifferent on or you're gonna really love. So let me know where you land when it comes to this one in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the review, please leave a like, and if you want to support the channel, please make sure you also subscribe. It just generally helps out my videos and lets me know you guys really like what I'm doing with the channel. My name is Justin. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next LEGO Star Wars set review on Obi-Wan Studios.